Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Lopez.
Here.
McFarland.
Here.
Moore. Here. Zimmers.
Here.
That is 6 in attendance.
Okay, President's comments. Today and tomorrow, Superintendent Gill, myself, Mrs. Moore, Jill Basco, and Nathan Kalchanowski went to the first annual Vision 2020 conference at the Convention Center today. This is 650 people who are comprised of superintendents, board members, principals, some parents from all over the state that came to the Convention Center today to learn about different things. We had a panel discussion today with some political reporters. We had an Apple demonstration. The thing that really struck me today was Dr. Joe Shearer, who's Executive Director of Superintendent's National Dialogue. And one of the things he talked about that kind of struck me is that we as a district, we are as schools, what we need to start thinking about and continuing to work on is our vision. I think this school district's always been very good about having a vision as a district and as individual schools. But the thing he talked about today was not necessarily concentrating on events that happen in a school district or a school, because those are things that we're very proud of sometimes, but they're short-lived. And, you know, people have a tendency to forget about those. Or it's not necessarily about the people within the organization, but it's about the value, our values and our vision. And it's more about ideas like what's going to take us to the next level. I think we do a good job of having a vision where we are at this point, but be able to look beyond that to what our vision will be in the future. I think we need to start having that mindset. What ideas are beneficial to kids? You know, it's really about the kids. Whatever our ideas are and our visions, it's about the kids. It's not necessarily about us as adults, but it's about what's going to be good for the children of the district. Sometimes I think we lose sight of that. So today, this is what really struck me. It's about vision, having a vision, making people aware of what your vision is, not only within the school district, but also the community. I think we're going to have another session tomorrow. It's very valuable. I'm glad to have been part of it because I think I really learned a lot today with having gone to it. So, at this point, let's do board salutes. We want to start with Mr. Flamini? No? Ms. Johnson?
I participated in the Black History Month reading at Fighton School. I think it was a week or so ago. And I had a 5th grade class, and there were some brilliant students in that class. We had a lot of fun talking about careers and where they're headed in life and what they would do. And they were engineers, neurosurgeons, teachers, a lot of great careers. So I think we had a great discussion. I spent about an hour with them, and it's always a lot of fun. That school is, of course, unless it's a combined school, so it was just a great afternoon. And they were all enthusiastic about participating, and a lot of talkers. They even sang me a song, so we had a great time. And of course, you know, I'm a basketball fan, so I've been to Southeast Girls Basketball. I've been, of course, to Lanphier Basketball, and I've seen Springfield play some of those teams. And yesterday, I went to the 9th grade freshman city tournament, and that was the first day of it. Tomorrow is another day of it, so that's a lot of fun. A lot of fun watching those future superstars run up and down the court. So I'm really, really enjoying that. And I'd like to make special note that Lanphier High School, their varsity team, out of 15 players, 11 of them are on the honor roll.
That's awesome.
Okay? I think that's a commendation for not only the students, but for the coaches as well. And if we get all of our athletes going like that, I think that's wonderful. So as long as we're helping our students, no matter where they are in their academic successes, we encourage them. That's what we want them to do. Now what we got to do is figure out a way to encourage them to go to school and then to come back to the Springfield community and be contributing members to their hometown.
Thank you.
Lopez? I don't have any. More?
Well, I had the pleasure of going to the open houses for Jefferson Middle School and also Franklin, and they both had great attendance, a lot of families that came, and wonderful programs, and I just wanted to recognize them for having some super open houses. I also visited Blackhawk and Ball Charter, great learning going on in those schools, but I particularly enjoyed sitting down and talking to Mr. Jordan from Blackhawk and just hearing his story of how he became the principal, and just his journey within the district, and a wonderful example of our Grow Your Own program within District 186, and just to praise the people that helped him along the way. And I know I'm not going to name everybody, but some of the names that he mentioned was like Sheila Boozer and Mrs. Gill and Mr. Zimmers, and also Mrs. Baker Brown, and it was just really wonderful to have somebody in front of me. In fact, I have some of Mrs. Baker Brown's business cards in my coat pocket now, because Mr. Jordan had a career shift. He was in one career, and he thought, well, let me try education, and look where he is now. It was just a great story. I enjoyed talking to him. I also would like to recognize a member of our community. Her name is Bertha Richards, and we received a package in the mail from Bertha. And opening it up, basically it was box top for education, all these box tops. And I just want to thank Bertha for taking the time to cut out these box tops, and just your thoughtfulness, and reaching out to us and sending us these box tops for our schools. Thank you.
I'd actually like to salute Sheree Morrison. Give me that look. At the NAACP banquet last weekend, she was recognized as the recipient of the Education Award. And I'm blanking on the name of the Education Award, but it was presented to her for her service not only to 186 but to the community in general. And just want to salute you for that.
Mr. President, I forgot one. I did go to Franklin Middle School. What day was that you were running around with the governor? One day last week. And they had a presentation by a gentleman from Montana, African American, and he did a presentation on Frederick Douglass. And the students were very attentive, and when it came to the question and answer period, they were able to ask him questions, and he responded, but then he would ask them questions, and they were very knowledgeable about African American history. So it was, students were very attentive during the whole program. So I thought that was a wonderful presentation.
Okay, now on to discussion items. 4.1, old business. Do any board members have any old business they'd like to discuss? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to 4.2, new business. Any board members have any new business they'd like to bring forward? Okay.
Rosaline was not able to come tonight. She did call us, and I just wanted to let the board know that she was overloaded on homework, and that is a free pass on my part so that she can get that done. She is an outstanding student and has many opportunities ahead of her, and she just said, I need to hit the studies tonight, and I said that was no problem. But she and I did meet the other day, and what we're working on right now is having visits between the three schools, so the members of our student council will actually go out and visit each other's schools and then come back together and have a meaningful focus group. And I think we'll have some great outcomes from that conversation after they do that visit. And then the next thing that she wanted us to tell in her student business was we are also going to go out to the middle schools, and they're going to try to go to the middle school that they went to if we have coverage of all of them. At our next meeting, we'll be doing the planning of the questions and what we're going to talk to them about. But we want to make sure that we also provide a smooth transition from middle school into high school, and they felt that messages that they could bring as students who have navigated high school successfully would be helpful for students that are getting ready to come in, and then also really encourage them to attend Freshman Forward, really tell them that, what kind of activities and things really help them move forward. So Rosaline's very excited about this venture with our student roundtable. So more to come on that, but those were the two key messages that we went through and met with.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. Superintendent Gill may talk about it in her superintendent's report, but Mrs. Gill hosted today for San Bedonia. He's on vacation, and from 6:45 to 9 o'clock, and had several guests, so
Yeah,
did
it
a
was
great
lot of
job.
fun.
So
Thank you.
kudos. Okay, business reports, 6.1, treasurer's report.
Mr. Basco?
President Zimmers, members of the board, the district ended the month of January with a cash balance of $18 million in the bank for all funds. Interest rates for the month averaged 0.012%. Interest was $5,143. Interest earnings year-to-date were $34,117. Schedule of investments is also attached to your report. We currently have a total of $9.1 million invested, and we have not yet had any activity on the line of credit.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the superintendent's report, 7.1.
All right, thank you. Big event this weekend coming up. Mrs. Baker's here, and if you want to add anything to the conversation, but we are excited. Our 7th annual Disability to Possibility Conference is going to be held over at Southeast High School, and in the same day, we're going to have it's called Get It Done Day, and I'll explain both of those. Our Disability to Possibility Conference is really looking at our students with disabilities throughout our system, and really giving an opportunity for families to come together, alongside teachers, and even a student component this year. We have a great keynote speaker. Her name is Ann Ford. She's the executive director of the Illinois Network of Centers for Independent Living and the first recipient of the Edward Roberts Excellence in Independent Living Award. And she will discuss the supports and practical solutions for students to become independent and reach their full potential in our community. Also, we will have many opportunities for breakout sessions. A good friend of mine is going to be there talking about guardianship and different things that we need to put in place to create trust for students who have disabilities, and so that their care is taken care of well into their lifespan in case something should happen to their family members. And these are things that we all need to think about in supporting our students with disabilities as we educate them, sometimes through the age of 21 here in our school district. This starts at 8 o'clock. It really has opportunities for parents who have students of all ages, either elementary school all the way, once again, into, like I said, post-high school age. And then we also have lunch that will be provided and free childcare, so that there's no barriers for people being able to come, and this is a free event. We would love to know how many people we have coming, so our pre-registration is listed right off our main webpage, so people can log on and register, but we don't want to turn anybody away, so you're still welcome to come to our event, once again, at Southeast in the morning. And then, real quick, Mrs. Baker, can you explain Get It Done Day? Because it really gives parents some hands-on opportunity to get the help they might need to fill out some of the various forms.
Yes, so we've had this in the past, but it's been a separate event. This is for families that are looking at what is that next level after they complete school, whether it's whatever that transition may be, whether it's into the workforce or whether it's into going on further into education, and that we will help with completing FAFSAs for those that need to. We will also help with those that need to get on the PONS list if that's a need. We do ask that if you're coming to fill out forms and that you make sure that you have Social Security numbers for your child. Also, if you qualify for Medicaid, you want to have that information as well. You may just want to get started or inquire or learn more about what the needs might be for your child. So it's a place to begin, but you can also complete those documents if you need to submit.
It's just something that is unique to our district. It's very important that we highlight this because we want as many people to attend as possible. Once again, this is sponsored by the school district alongside our Springfield Parents for Students with Disabilities and also the Illinois Assistive Technology Program and Sangamon County Transition Planning Committee. So we're very excited to have all of those people coming together to work to really provide support and information to families with students with disabilities. So thank you for all of your hard work. And I'm going to keep talking a little bit about our special ed department and some of the great things that they're doing. We have a Council for Exceptional Children here in our local area that really covers the Sangamon County area, not just Springfield, but they recently hosted a show and tell roundtable, and they had some specific presentations from our own District 186 teachers highlighting classroom management strategies, iPad and technology integration within our special needs classrooms, best practices in literacy instruction and service delivery, and inclusion of students with special needs into the general education curriculum. So this is a council of our teachers that's done by our own people and presenting for themselves to really get their ideas out. And I really want to commend the work that your department is doing, Mrs. Baker, to really move things forward in our district. And I know we have a lot of great teachers out there that are serving students with disabilities in great ways. So just wanted to thank you for that work.
Well, thank you.
Couple big highlights. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's a joint effort.
Thank you. Thank you. I tell you what, we have had a busy week with all the kind of scene downtown and, all of the transition with our new governor. He was in district last week, attended 3 schools. He gave a great shout out to Graham Elementary in their morning meeting, and that was also coinciding with the incident Jazzy Dads that Graham Elementary had in place. I would say they had upwards of 40 or 50 dads in the crowd, and more were coming in as I left. And this is a great engagement activity, and the dads are actually not only invited to have breakfast with their students, but actually go into the classroom, stay in the classroom for a short time, really see what the students are doing with their learning, and having the doors open to our classrooms like that for our dads to join along with their parents was really a fun thing to see, and to have Governor Rauner actually address the dads specifically was a nice day. And then we went on to Lanphier High School, and he met with the government students there and engaged in questions with them, not only about his role as governor, but they gave him some pretty hard questions about upcoming budget talks and some of the things that they wanted to have questions about and so answered about. And it was really interesting to hear his reaction to them and kind of see them go back and forth. And after it was over, they came up and continued to ask him questions. And once again, he stayed for quite a long time there at Lanphier, greeting those students, and then did a walkthrough with Mr. Doss as well. So that was a great day. And then we ended up in the afternoon visiting Lincoln Magnet School as well. And he addressed the entire student body, but he also went in several classrooms and saw the technology integration that is going on over at Lincoln Magnet. And because of those visits, he has actually invited the principals and representative students to sit in the audience with him at the budget address tomorrow from Lanphier and from Lincoln Magnet. So really great outpouring of support and getting out into our schools. We haven't really had that in the past where people are out in our schools, so it was interesting to see. We will all be tuning in tomorrow at noon to hear the governor's budget address. There are several things, of course, facing education that we're very curious to hear. We've sort of been at a standstill, if you will, with moving forward with thinking about our budget until we can hear what his address is. I continue to advocate and be most interested in learning about our state categorical payments and how that might affect us for the rest of this current budget. And that's not really looking to next year's budget, but really just thinking about the budget we had for this year. We based it on receiving full payment from the state for those categoricals and just understanding where we might be after that. he may not come out tomorrow and give us real specifics or just real straightforward guidelines of what he is going to do, but at least we'll have a general idea of how that money is going to be distributed in his budget. All along, we've heard that money will be there for early learning, money will be there for career and technical, and we've heard the words he's increasing spending for K-12 education or early learning through 12th grade education. So we'll just wait for tomorrow. We're excited to hear the message, and several of you will be with me when we hear that message stream live tomorrow during our Alliance Summit, the second day of that. So we'll be interested. So for anybody in the press who wants to know what's going to happen, I have no idea. We've been trying to get the scoop, but there is no scoop at this point. We're just going to all be listening to it together. And it really fits perfectly in with our budget process as we go into March and April. So I think we'll know a little bit more after tomorrow. And that really covers, I was also going to give a shout out to Cherie for her nomination and an award at the NAACP banquet, but I was also overwhelmed with the number of students who were also honored from our 3 high schools that were given outstanding student awards. There was one winner from each high school, but everybody got a certificate, and I was just really impressed with the number of students who applied and the number of students who met the criteria to receive that award, and it was a proud moment to stand up there and shake their hands as they came off the stage. Some of them who I now know when they were very little, and now they're juniors and seniors in high school. So it was a great day, and thanks, Mr. McFarland, for giving her a shout out earlier, but she knows how I feel about her. She's had a long career in this district and as a teacher and an administrator, and always done an excellent job, and she's serving our secondary schools and our alternative schools quite well now. So it's an honor to work alongside you each and every day. Thank you. All right, that's the end of the superintendent's report tonight.
Okay, now on to consent action items.
Okay, I recommend the approval of consent action items 8.2 through 8.7 as described in the corresponding resolutions.
So moved.
Second. Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just had some questions on
Sure.
8.7, and well, most of my questions have been answered, but I was just wondering, with this company that's been chosen to sell the surplus property, are we going to be using the same company in the future, or are we going to be giving other companies an opportunity to sell our surplus property?
Mr. Qualls is in the audience today, and just to give a little background to what this is, generally when we surplus technology, we're just kind of giving it away, and now we're going to surplus that to a company that could actually possibly sell that, and they do the selling. There's no charge to us. There's no extra fees that we would have to pay in order to do this, but we may get a little bit of money back for that equipment. So I'll let you explain a little bit further.
Yeah, it was just an idea that we had several years ago. We wanted to do it ourselves, but because of audit issues, we couldn't do that. So we thought we would check into a consignment company that would possibly sell our surplus equipment rather than give it to the recyclers and then we get it for scrap. That's basically what we've done in the past. So all of this surplus goes through board approval beforehand. It's just the normal stuff that is worn out or that we no longer are using, and then we're going to see if we can get some money back from it. So you said, will we allow somebody else in the future? Absolutely. If somebody else would like to give us more of a percentage back, I would look at that. But I want to approach this cautiously, and we want to try this out because this is not something we've done before, and so I want to do a few items at first and see how it goes, and then we'll proceed from there.
It is a local company.
It is a local
Route
company.
66 Pack and Ship on Stevenson, and we do get 75% of the sales that they do, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And let it be known that these are not really good pieces of equipment. These are by
If they're
calling them
surplus by us, they're
is,
really
Yeah,
surplus.
It's a real stretch.
It is.
This district, we use old computers. They still have a plug.
Yeah. But being good fiscal stewards, every little bit helps.
And I just have a request too, that in the future, if there are contracts or agreements, if that could be included in our agenda, so we'll, or at least an executive summary of the agreement, so that we know what we're voting on.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And thank you for providing that for me today so that I could get it to them. So thank you.
Okay, anything else? Hearing nothing else, we'll take a vote.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
That is 5 ayes.
Okay, on to roll call action.
Mrs. Sherman?
President Zimmers and members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the personnel recommendations as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
That is 5 aye votes. Motion carries.
Okay, 9.2.
Would you like me to read this, or do you? Okay. All right, you have it in front of you there?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Sherman?
Superintendent and, or President Zimmers and members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the Board of Education has received reports from administration regarding the conduct and teaching performance of Tamalyn Williams, the teacher of this school district. And whereas the board finds and determines that such reports state causes, charges, reasons, and defects in the teaching performance and conduct of Tamalyn Williams, which, if not removed, are causes, charges, and reasons warranting discharge and dismissal of Tamalyn Williams as a teacher in this district.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion been seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll take a vote.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
That is 5 aye votes.
9.3, student discipline.
President Zimmers and members of the board, it is my recommendation that one 8th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Washington Middle School through the end of the 2014-15 school year with a program, and that one 9th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Southeast High School through the end of the first semester of 2015-2016 school year with a program.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
That is 5 aye votes.
Okay, anybody have anything else?
Just want to add that Lou Baker's phone call just got my phone going, so it went out to all parents or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for
School
coming.
reach.
The next scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, March the 3rd, 6:30.
All right. Thank you.